Welcome to another edition of the Husker Fans of Montana podcast. I'm Ricky J here with BB and Carl, and on the phone,
hey Carl,
hello,
live from Omaha, we have Jeff.
I am here.
Oh,
Jeff's
he's here.
Oh man, you're
People
awesome.
in Omaha don't say a lot. They're quiet.
No, they're very quiet.
They're doers. They're not talkers.
No, they speak to their
talkers.
words.
They're doers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, their words.
Right.
So this,
Actions speak louder than words, fellas.
That's right.
exactly. So this is new for us. So
And we need Jeff at linebacker, man. I'm telling you. Right.
and we're here coming off a win, but we do have some nice whiskey. Carl, what'd you bring for us?
Well, this is a reminder of our trip to Ireland. The Redbreast 12. It's a single pot still. Very good. Made by Jameson. It's our upper end stuff. Very, very smooth. Very nice.
I'll attest to that. This is great.
Triple distilled. It's very nicely tasted. Great
What
taste.
do you think of it, Jeff?
It is delicious. Unfortunately, we didn't get it to Jeff in time.
Oh,
No, we didn't.
Jeff's quiet.
Jeff's frozen.
We lost Jeff.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with the Husker news topic. Since we're not sharing the screen, you won't be able to see these, Jeff. But Huskers are 3-3 with the win at Illinois, 20-7. Wide receiver Marcus Washington is out for the season with a torn ACL. Linebacker Luke Reimer and safety Deshaun Singleton remain out. Quarterback Jeff Sims is healthy and competing for the starting QB spot. Nebraska plays Northwestern October 21st at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's on BTN.
Revenge.
We
want
announced the winner of our 2 free tickets October 17.
That's becoming exciting.
Yeah.
There's some serious interest in it. It's very cool.
And Nebraska needs 3 wins in the next 6 games to be bowl eligible. We have Northwestern, of course, after the bye week. We have Purdue at home. We go to Michigan State. We have Maryland at home. We go to Wisconsin. And we have Iowa at home. So those are the...
Let's win the first 3. We won't have to worry about it.
I was going to say the first 3 are going to be the ones that are most winnable.
So, yeah, we'll turn to Jeff as our guest. You heard the news items. Kind of give us your thoughts, and you're in the heartland in Omaha. What have you heard there?
A lot of the same. Just those injuries just keep piling up on us. I think people after this win, it seemed like after Michigan, it took a downturn as far as how people felt about the program, where it was going. I think that win helped, even though we had a lot of mistakes. And they're starting to see that they're at least competing, even being down so many key players.
Yeah, BB, thoughts?
Well, Washington out's going to hurt. I mean, I don't think there's any, disguising that. He's one of the best receivers we had left.
Yeah, well, since August, we've lost 4 of our top wide receivers and 2 of our top running backs.
Sims might get healthy and have to play receiver.
I think that's what they should do.
I mean, to be
I don't
honest
want my
with
quarterback.
Well, you're running out of. It's getting pretty thin on the offensive line. I think Rule said this week that he's never seen this many injuries on the offensive side of the ball. So, yeah, it's rough to lose him, and I sure like to get Luke back. I don't know if that infection's getting cleared up or not, but he's a big factor on the defense, of course. So
now, Jeff, I looked for information on that online on Luke Reimer. The linebacker that went out with the infection was out for the Michigan game and last week's game, and I can't find anything. Have you heard anything around the Omaha, Nebraska, their area on Luke Reimer?
No, It's been pretty quiet on that. Even local guys here have stated just that it's pretty quiet coming out of Lincoln on what's going on with him.
Someone we know closely, had a bout with MRSA, and it's scary. It's really scary. And so it lasted a long time. It was an ongoing struggle. Doctors wouldn't know. They would do tests, and sometimes, even though the MRSA was still there, it was below detectable levels, and that would flare back up again. So I sure hope Luke is not facing a MRSA infection or something like that.
Absolutely.
I think this
it's
is
really scary.
Golden opportunity for us to spread a really bad rumor. Let's just start spreading rumors.
Great. That's positive, Carl. This is Carl, our mental health professional.
Yeah.
Let's spread some good rumors.
What does that all make the news?
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Peter King will be
Enjoy a little
royalties.
more of that whiskey you brought me.
But it is crazy. I don't know, Jeff. I've never seen in my memory a wide receiver, this many injuries, a wide receiver room go down this hard. And in August, you have players that are like, oh, no, these players won't see the field. Now we're looking at 3 true freshmen. All 3 of them will likely lose their red shirts. And they would have probably all 3 redshirted. Sure. Was the plan probably in August. Played their 4 games, but redshirted. Now they're going to be in there and they've got to step up and they're going to be counted on. And then you have the top 2 really running backs go down because of Anthony Grant and the fumbling problems. And, I've just not seen, and then technically we've lost the starting quarterback to injury. Now he's healthy again, and we'll see if he does, regain that position. But I've not seen injuries like this in a season for Nebraska that I can remember, and I've been following them since I was born. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Like, that's why I say to even see that this team competes is pretty unbelievable. Like, your skill positions. I mean, I guess you really can't say skill over line because you start losing linemen, you're not going to compete either. But man, when your top skill people are all gone, it's basically a mash unit out there. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I haven't either, and that takes us into, I guess we'll jump into the post game review, and we've got like an 8-minute some game video of highlights from BTM, but unfortunately, what I couldn't believe is they do not show in this video the goal line stand on the first drive, and when you talk about highlights, you don't see many teams stop a team twice on like the 3-inch line.
That might have been the reason we won the game, to be honest with you.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was quite a momentum change.
And I know later they stopped him again on another 4th and less than 1 or whatever. But also in the goal line one, talking about freshmen, there's a freshman lineman in there, in Big Ten play, making a difference. And so it's pretty impressive. I mean, that was an impressive stop for that defense. Hats off to them. But I will cue that game up, and we'll just.
This is not 8 minutes of our offensive highlights. I can almost assure you.
No, there's not.
This is the game.
8 minutes of offensive
like 8-second highlight reel.
Yeah, so this is the game. So unfortunately, Jeff, I'm sorry you won't be able to chat over it because you can't see it. But maybe we'll be able to work out some of these bugs, so you'll be able to next time. I think you'll be able to hear it, though.
Can you describe the play to Jeff? Illinois run.
It does start with Illinois' first drive, and they do take the ball and march down field pretty quickly.
It was a scary opening series. I was afraid that it was going to be a very long night at this point.
But they show all these plays that blew me away. And they don't show the goal line stand. I had to go back and look. All of a sudden, Nebraska has the ball on their own 1-inch line.
And there's nothing spectacular about these plays.
No.
Credit to the Illinois coaching staff. They had a very well scripted first series, and they had done some research on it. So what we're watching right now, Jeff, is just that opening series, and I'm most of those plays, if not all, were predetermined scripted plays. I suspect. Now we've seen Washington's reception on.
Yeah, and I don't remember on their opening drive too. It seemed to me, I'd have to go back and look to make sure I'm just not remembering wrong, but like they were hitting the right side. Their right side, our left side of our defensive line when they hit the runs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they were.
And I don't know if that's something they saw then.
They must have.
They scripted it, and it's something they've seen because they were gashing us pretty good, 7-8 yards on our left side against their right side.
I guess Coach Rule said almost every time in their games, their opening drive has led to points or, with a field goal or a touchdown. And they just showed us, for us to stop them, go 99 yards and lead to a field goal. And it's Tristan's, he needed these field goals in this. So
yeah, and in fairness, the one miss he had, either a hold problem or, there was.
Well, and this wind was
brutal.
Insane. I noticed the one was not Laces Out. Remember that old movie?
Yeah.
Laces
Finkel.
Out.
Yeah, it was Finkel.
Yeah.
So Nebraska touchdown. We're up 10-0 at this point.
At 6:43 in the second, and Harburg makes a killer run.
There he is.
And scores. I love the way he just lowers his shoulder and runs over. Safeties are shuddering when he comes their way.
He's, as far as I'm concerned, he's our starter the rest of the year.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I agree. I think he should be until if he screws up.
Well, I'm not really kidding. If Sims could play receiver, we're so short there.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Jeff?
On the QB deal.
It'll be interesting. That is the big talk this week, is whether with this bye week and Sims getting healthy, if he'll get a shot. A lot of people around here think that the coaching staff has said, okay, you want number one back, go get it. Prove it in practice. And so we'll see.
I haven't seen practices, but I wonder if he turns the ball over in practice like he does in a game.
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I just think, man, do you lose? I think you got a locker room situation maybe, and a fan base situation. You go back to him, and he pulls a Minnesota or something.
Yeah.
Right, and now you don't make a bowl
game that we should win.
Yeah.
My point, you set him up for serious flack taking or whatever you want to call it if you do not wait until Harburg, the shine on Harburg is worn off by some sort of play. Because I'll tell you what, he looks in control. He did enough. I know people are complaining about the offense, but they did enough to win. And it wasn't Harburg. He actually looked poised on third downs, and he made some clutch passes and clutch plays.
I think the bigger issue is you put Sims in there and he turns the ball over, you're going to lose the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, you lose the locker room, you're done.
Not until, the only way you could do it is if Harburg suddenly starts making a bunch of mistakes.
Now, here's this punt, which is one of the most bizarre plays I've seen in a while. The Illinois punter, the 30-year-old Australian, married with 6 kids, former professional rugby player.
Collecting Medicare.
And he does the rollout, and I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
Totally goes outside his coverage. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
His Medicare coverage.
Leads to a nice block for us. So.
And that's it. A 30-year-old should not be playing football in college. They're taking a space for
we've got
a young
president
kid.
that's 108. So,
right.
we're kind of setting a low bar here.
If we're going to complain about that.
So the game is in the fourth, Jeff, right now that we're looking at. 11:41 left. We just had our first turnover. It's 20-7. I thought we had our first turnover. It's hard to track. They're cutting back and forth.
There's your turnover.
So that interception, it really, like the coach said, it was kind of like a punt. It really didn't matter. And if you had a more experienced receiver, I think he would have went up and competed for that ball.
Now, my thought...
Now, was the interception the first of the 3?
I think so.
Yeah. I thought Harburg didn't have a great night in that he did miss some open receivers. He did... he was off a little on some of the pass routes, behind the receivers, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's not super sharp on the pass.
Not on the pass. And boy, we just could not get it in the end zone, in the red zone. My goodness. Towards the end of the game.
Well, we keep fumbling.
Penalties, too. Yeah, here we go on backwards.
Second goal from the 15. Grant trying to find some space. Ball is out.
Man.
That was
There's
great.
Grant's
Turnover.
fumble on like the
fumble.
10.
God, Grant and his fumbling, man. Someone needs to put glue on his hands.
Well, Coach Rule has
He
some
had his arm
interesting.
out away from his body again. Didn't
Yep.
he?
Yeah. Coach Rule has some interesting stuff to say on that.
Jeez.
I bet he does.
Altmaier to the outside. He's got a man. It's caught and driven out of bounds. Casey Washington with another reception.
Still don't like the colors. It looks a little Disney to me. Don't you
You're having
think?
trouble with the whole Fighty Illini orange?
Well, the Illini, which is an Indian tribe, by the way, Carl. I
We-
did
we
some
know that.
research.
We knew that.
Okay, you were saying it was just an abbreviated state name or something.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, Carl.
I think we've
know.
got it on tape.
Please go
These are
back. I
recorded.
want to throw a red flag in. I want to challenge that.
All right, these are recorded. So,
The Huskers come on the road and beat Illinois.
is Huskers a native Indian tribe thing?
No.
Stop with the
Stop
whole
it.
Native
No, I
American
was just
anything.
curious
God,
if it
Huskers,
was
what's your
the Illini
fixation?
is.
The
The hell
Illini is a
Is it?
Native
Yes,
American.
It is.
Yeah,
But
see?
Huskers, isn't he a fool? Jeez.
Oh, who
you know what a
knew?
Husker
God.
Well, they pick corn things.
is? Yeah, something like that.
All right.
All right, so that was the game, and a little review of it. It wasn't pretty, but I've heard there's been a lot of people complaining about, hey, they should have done more on offense. Yeah, the score could have been a lot worse. You fumbled twice inside the red zone late in the game. That's a bad deal. But the defense stepped up. They did what they needed to do. The offense did enough. Our quarterback Harburg did enough, and they got a win on the road against a team that they haven't beaten in over like 3 years.
Yeah, I don't
So,
think a gift.
come on.
You don't look a gift horse in the mouth. You take
Exactly.
take the win.
Exactly.
Well, we're not going to give it back, but I guess I'm one of those that
Maybe
was.
you want to. I think.
I was not thrilled with the offense. I want to be the glasses half full kind of guy, but
You've
there's
never
a
been
lo-
the glasses half
I
full
know,
kind
you're-
of guy.
No,
Please.
your glass is broken all over the
God.
goddamn
Really?
place.
It's got a hole in it?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'd like to see the offense be able to score once in a while from the red zone. Is that asking too much?
Maybe.
What say you, Jeff? What say you on the offensive performance?
I mean, it can be tough to watch at times for sure, but and inside the red zone seems to be our bugaboo. Like that's where in Colorado we were inside the 30 twice when we turned it over, and then this game 3 times, and it's. But I'll say I don't know. It's so hard to quantify because then the defense plays well enough, you still get a double-digit win out of it. So. Yeah, we do need to get the what ifs. What if we wouldn't have fumbled? What if we wouldn't have had a penalty out of there? But I'm kind of with you guys. It's hard at this point to look at a win and not celebrate it after the last, 7 years. That
Well, the hell with that, Jeff.
We'll take the win no matter how we
Yeah,
get
can
it.
you
I don't
cut,
care.
let's cut Jeff off. What button do we push there, Rick?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to agree with Jeff.
Well, of
Because
course
this
you
is-
are.
We just got this hell
This
of a
is
punter. Let's just
exactly-
start with this one.
This is exactly what I mean. Over and over and
I'm being
over again,
replaced. This
this
is-
game would have turned out to we would have
It's
lost
true.
it in
Now,
the
this
last.
point is true.
They would have scored a walk-off score, and we'd have lost the game. And now we're sitting here with a 20-7 win, and we're pissing and moaning.
Right.
No.
I mean,
Right.
come on. And now
Oh my
they're-
God! I
you are.
strive for excellence. and
oh
we
my
just
God.
can't
You
handle it.
are-
I'd rather
Always-
win
you just
ugly than
can't
win
handle
ugly
it.
or
All
lose
right.
ugly. I don't care.
I'll tone down my expectations of excellence. Then
Please
for
do.
This broadcast.
I mean, you've survived on non-excellence like we all
For a
have
long
all of our life.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gotten by. You've
Thank
won.
you. Let me drink some
Yeah.
more whiskey to
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to Coach Rule, his video that we have here. And this is his statement, basically just his post-game statement. So, Jeff, you should be able to hear this.
Upon a special team, that's the kind of team we want to be. Offensively, I thought Heinrich and the guys made some big conversions on a couple drives to extend the game. Found some runs. Would have liked to have closed the game out. Obviously, a lot of things that we have to correct in that regard. But with all that being said, for a team to stay consistent with my message, for a team that's trying to learn how to win. I thought for the first time since I've been here, they kept running out on the field excited to play. So when Anthony fumbled that ball at the end, the defense, I can't tell you what they were saying to me, but they were saying some things to me. They wanted to keep playing. So that's the team I want to coach, and proud of them.
You know, I think that's kind of what he'd said previous to the game, that he was looking for players with the right attitude and players that would play hard regardless of the score. So, Carl, what are you thinking?
I think Rule is starting to run out of positive things to say. He's trying to stay uplifted and stuff, but he's got to be getting frustrated with some of this stuff. I mean, they're just not responding. I don't think to his expectation.
But I think I do think though they played hard. So you'll hear him in a little bit talking about I basically challenged them to play super hard, and then they had a lot of penalties and the 2 turnovers, so there were mistakes. But I think if you do challenge people just to kind of get crazy, the side effect of that, it might get a little messy because you're saying basically don't think as much, just get out there and play with your heart.
Leave it on the field.
And so I think you'll hear him in a little bit sort of talk about, okay, I said that, you guys went out and got wild. Now how do we do this and not have 11 penalties and the 2 turnovers in the red zone?
Boy, the penalties were a lot of penalties.
And he does talk about, and he's unhappy with
The officials on some
the
of it,
officials allowing, Illinois to their defense to be yelling a bunch of
the
stuff.
stems.
So I don't know exactly how that, but he was but then he did say to the team, how long is it going to take us to figure out, hey, they are going to, they're basically going to be yelling this stuff. So maybe you should realize that and not jump off sides.
Now, and some fairness too, some of those penalties were just damn stupid. I mean, we had some unsportsmanlike conduct. We had our center, pile driving a guy into the ground while he was laying on the ground. Those were just killers at the time that were so unnecessary. It just didn't show a lot of discipline to me at that moment.
Our center is just too good for that. Yeah. For those. Jeff, any thoughts on that before we move to the next video?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my expectations. I like a lot of what Rule says, like when he talks about that, or he talks about what the guys are saying to him, or I think he said something about they told him basically to get out of their huddle. So I do like how he challenges them. It's just one of those things with the past 2 coaches. It's like you don't want your expectations to get too high just because of one positive here, one positive there. But
well, this is a video on his comments on the defensive stop on the first drive, and it's the true freshman is Van Poppel, and he was in on and played a key role on one of these stops. But I don't think Coach Rule mentions him, but he's one of them that was in there, so I wanted to throw his name out.
I thought those were phenomenal plays. I can't wait to see the film because you guys probably have a better view of what happened than I do. And what was interesting about it was, last week Michigan had always had like an explosive play, and so when they kind of methodically went down the field, you could feel our guys almost like, oh, geez. And we told them Illinois has started with the ball in every game, I believe, and they've gone down the field and either scored or missed a field goal, I think, in 4 of the 5. So they did what they planned to do, and I thought our guys held. And to do that, and then to come out and to hit Marcus Washington on that big pass the way we did. Unfortunately, Marcus went down, obviously right after that. But to me, to have a 99-yard drive, even just to kick a field goal, that was a heck of a start for us. And I really believe that's kind of what we needed. That resilient beginning.
So when you were watching the game, Jeff, and you're seeing that drive go down, and I guess, what did you think about that stand? I mean, I personally, over the past several years, it wouldn't even be a dream for Nebraska to be able to stop any team, with 4th and basically inches to go twice in a row. I would never expect them to do it. What were you thinking when you were watching that game? The
same, like, oh crap, this is, they're punching this in. And then when they held them the first time, it was like, okay, but that was, we won, but here we go. They're going to punch it through. It's just been so much for Nebraska over the last few years, just have one missed assignment or something, and the guy walks into the end zone the next time, so.
Right.
That was a great way to start the game.
You guys?
Can I ask? I know we said this earlier on, but I don't think we.
Yeah.
Can we see the Herbie shirt, Jeff? Can we see the sweatshirt? Because I do like this. I like the Herbie. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is
That's like a
Muscles always
wrestling
ripped.
Herbie.
He
Look
looks
at
like
that guy.
yeah, that's wrestling Herbie.
He's gonna take you
in
out.
He's
man.
in his
That guy-
singlet. He's ready to take someone down.
like, put you in a headlock.
That's
on
right.
it. That's a damn good looking shirt, and thank God we don't have the little red shirt.
No, we don't want inflatable one. That's
Have we got any
that's
update
pedophile. That's
on Little
pedophile,
Red?
Little Red.
Is the
That's-
sideline still? Unfortunately, I think he's still visiting the home games.
Someone, which we won't say the name, may
Right.
have a little red fetish.
No, I'm just saying
does have a
I'm
Little Red
concerned
fetish.
with children in general. And
Yes,
I'm worried that Little Red is
he's a pedophile.
he fits a certain profile. Let's just
He
put
does.
it that way.
He fits the profiles right.
If that dude's hanging out in the playground
No,
in
no,
your
no.
neighborhood,
You're taking your children
Little Red
inside.
out.
Yeah, You're not letting your kids play.
That's
now.
what
No,
I'm
they're not
saying.
playing
Yeah.
in the neighborhood.
All right, here is Coach Rule on the defensive attitude after the turnovers.
Yeah, MJ said it before the game. The scoreboard is going to be 0-0 the whole game. You know, kind of what I said. You know, like our guys, people might not like me saying this. Our guys, they hear what everyone says about them, and they worry about what people think. I've said it week after week, so it's not like I'm even in wins. And I just kept saying, like, at some point you're going to play in the games the way you play at practice, when there's no fear of what people are going to say or if you make a mistake. And so instead of just worrying about winning, they just wanted to keep taking the field. They're like, we got this. Let's go. Let's play again. Like RDV, like Sunday night. They just kept saying, like, play like Sunday night, play like Sunday night. So, you know, when I got in a couple times, like, hey, and they were like, we got this. like basically, get your ass out of here. And but like, that was Jamari tonight. That was awesome. That was all those guys tonight. And you know, they can play better, obviously, to give up that one touchdown. But it's pretty good, you know, Big Ten football to hold a team to 7 points on the road, and they're in no huddle the whole game trying to get going. So that was pretty good by us.
Can I suggest that a team has turned a, let's say at least the defense has turned a little corner when they are aggressive and have enough swagger to tell the coach, hey, we got this.
Yeah.
It's almost for you that have served in the military or whatever. You do reach that point where you kind of outgrow your drill sergeant. You know, you kind of, we got this. You know, we know what the mission, we know what needs to be done, and we're going to do it.
Right. We know that commander's intent,
Right.
and we're going to get this
We're going to
done.
execute that. So, you know, that let's hope that is where our defense truly is. And it sounds like maybe, you know, they had a hell of a night. That was a tremendous defensive evening.
7 points
Against
Yeah.
Illinois. But yeah, when you start sending the coach to the sideline, you've got a core group of people that are operating at a high level, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're taking that responsibility on themselves, not pushing it on anyone else. They're like, no, we've got this. This stops with us.
You don't need to shove
Yeah.
us anymore. Yeah.
Any thoughts on that, Jeff?
Yeah, that's that clip I was talking about. You know, that's where I kind of rules is kind of pulling me in, because when to say that in Nebraska at a press conference of the boys saying, "Hey, get your ass out of here." I mean, that's kind of refreshing, especially after the Frost era when we always heard, "Oh, this was our best Tuesday ever," and then they go out and get mopped on the weekend. You know, it's refreshing.
Onside
to listen
kick.
to him. Yeah,
They got mopped.
that's triggering.
Yeah, who were the fools that traveled to Ireland all that way to
Yeah.
see that kind of buffoonery?
The best thing that came out of Ireland was this Redbreast 12-year-old whiskey.
You know, buffoonery is about, just sums it up, doesn't it?
That's a word I don't get to use often. So
all right.
thank you,
Yeah.
Scott Frost. All right, here is this is interesting. Coach Rule is talking about enjoying the innocent climb, and it's kind of an interesting perspective.
We're going to hit the bye week. We're going to come out each week. We're going to play each week. It's not going to be perfect. I just really hope people, instead of like just jumping ahead to like what we're going to be and all this, I just hope they kind of enjoy this ride. You know, like Coach Riley, Pat Riley calls it the innocent climb. You know, like, you know how bad Emmett Johnson felt when after he fumbled that ball and he came over to me like looking at me, and I was like, nobody cares. Keep playing. Like, now we do care, but this is like this innocent climb where these kids are just out there giving their all for this, you know. And so, yeah, sometimes we line up wrong, and sometimes, we have 12 guys. So that, it's not perfect. It can be a little bit frustrating, but it's a beautiful phase watching young people do something, learn how to win and fight for each other. And that's what you saw tonight. I will say this, Sam, because you asked me. I got in there for the defense. I said, hey, do you guys love AG? They're like, yeah, we love AG. I said, he needs you guys right now. He just fumbled his football. Like, he needs you guys right now. And that's when they told me to get out of the huddle. We got this. So we got special guys, really, really, really care about him.
Cool.
I love that. It's like,
Cool.
do you love AG? Because he needs you bad.
Right. Because otherwise we're gonna nail the ball to his hands.
Oh man.
You're going to have to play center and snap the ball to himself.
Yeah, give
the ball.
some excuse to get rid of the ball because you do that just fine.
Well, I mean, Carl, you're not only here for your looks, but that is the perfect transition into the next two videos we have on Coach Rule. So your timing is amazing.
It is amazing.
Just the way I
So
planned it.
this is Coach Rule on the turnovers.
Nice.
It's a great question. I hadn't really thought about that. What I did tell the team was, at some point, it's going to have to stop. It's been 8 years of it here. Going back to the 9-4 year was the last year.
I told
we had
my
a plus
kids that a lot.
turnover margin. So it's all these different voices saying it. And it's not, and we're talking about just the offense right now, but like the defense is only taking the ball away 6 times. They're like 11th in the Big Ten. So it's not like we're like doing, everyone kind of looks at the offense like, come on, guys, well, we're supposed to be taking the ball away on defense. That game was trending in that direction, right? Like Quentin had the pick. Take away Heinrich's pick. I mean, to me, Heinrich's pick was like, hey, it was like, we're going to take a shot down the sideline. If it's intercepted, it's a punt. Like, I mean, we don't want it to be intercepted. The fumbles in the red zone are ridiculous, right, inside a 4-minute. So, I challenged the team, like, hey, we literally the day before walked through 4-minute offense. We spoke it into existence that we're going to have the lead. And quarterback, what are you going to do? I follow the ball. Offensive line, what do you do? We finish. Defense, running back, what do you do? I run to contact and get down. Like, it's coached, and it happened the day before. And then, as we said to the team, hey guys, who brought that up in the huddle when it was happening? And everyone said no. Like even Heinrich said, I didn't even think about we were in 4-minute offense, which it's 4 minutes and 20 seconds, but it's so. Those are teaching opportunities to me. Is it a little easier when you win? Probably. But it's still, the same problems are still there that were there at Minnesota. The same issues are still there. So we've got to continue to clean them up. My point, though, is there are the same issues on special teams. They're the same issues on offense and on defense. Everybody has their issues. So as a team this week, we have to clean up some things so we can be better against Northwestern.
So maybe they better call it the 5-minute offense to cover that extra time.
The 12-minute offense.
Yeah. Like something about
a big
Mary when they
sign,
said the 7-minute abs. So that's awesome until someone comes out with the 6-minute abs. Well, this is a follow-up. We'll go straight into it. So this is also on the fumbling, but more specific on Grant.
It's not okay with me because he keeps fumbling the ball. I love Anthony, but you can't play for us if you can't control the ball. So Anthony, he's got to improve that. Not in the doghouse. People take things the wrong way. He's got a skill that is not showing up. It's very simple. To me, it's all technical. Football's never emotional for me. It's just technical. So I have to get that fixed for Anthony. And Anthony has to get that fixed for Anthony or he can't play because we can't, you can't fumble the ball in practice on Tuesday, then fumble it again in practice on Wednesday, then fumble it in 4 minutes on Saturday and think you're going to play the next week. So I think the bye week comes at a great time because Anthony can really work on that this week. He's got such great vision. He has all these things, but he has one skill that's preventing him from playing at the level I think he could play at. So, he's healthy, all those things, but I'm counting on Anthony, and I need him, and we need him to step up, and we need him to very simply cover the top of the ball and not run with the ball like this. And so I don't know what else to do other than to say what I just said. And I've said it to him, obviously, but say what I just said so he hears it because he's a really good player. He could probably play for many years after this. But you're not playing for Bill Belichick if you fumble the ball. You're not playing for Mike Tomlin if you fumble the ball. So we need him this week to really make a step.
Is it that simple though? Is that the only time he fumbles is when he carries it up here, or is it up here?
Well, they said he's just not carrying it all like you should carry it. Like
the 3 points of contact that you should maintain.
That we all learned in small fry football.
Yeah,
and the problem. I ran the ball. That was my. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't super, but I did play at a certain level, and when you're in traffic is the worst time to be having that football out. And that seems to be, to me, the problem with him is he's in traffic. He's got people all around him, and you'll see that ball come out. And, you know, the defenders are trained. They practice to try to knock
all
that
they do
ball
is strip
loose.
the ball.
He needs to learn to really, when you're in those situations, not only the ball in, but just cover it down and run north and south. With
Well, if you look at Heinrich Harburg, the way he runs the ball, it looks odd the way he carries the ball because it's up super high and his hands up,
But he
and
keeps
he
it-
has
right.
it totally locked in. But that's how they're teaching him to carry it.
Keep your wrist
I
above
guess
your elbow.
Tom Osborne was in at a practice and pointed out, man, he holds that football exactly like you want people to hold
Sure.
the football. And who knows? We'll probably curse the guy. He'll have 7 fumbles in the next game.
But high and tight's the right way.
But
to
yeah,
play
high and
football.
tight.
and then I
Locked
think
in.
you're right. When contact is imminent, you know,
Cover
then
that ball up.
get it covered up.
Got it.
But if you have it high and tight, when you have unexpected contact, hopefully you're going to hold on to the ball.
right, and they coach keep that wrist up, you know, above your elbow.
And
the higher
Harburg
the
does
better.
run with it just like this.
Right.
Have you seen that, Jeff? The way he runs with that ball.
Yeah, it looks odd. You're right, and I don't like. But I've seen that is definitely the way they're teaching it because I've seen other people, running that way, especially when they get out in space.
Well, that was Sim's problem too. To be honest with you, is he would have that ball out. Sometimes there were
Right.
times I'd see him just literally palming the football out.
You're right. No,
Right.
he would.
and
He's not ready to throw it. He's not trying,
No.
getting ready to throw it.
no, and
It's just
for a guy that has turnover issues, that's not a good look.
Well,
Not.
And I feel bad for AG because you know that every scouting report is going to be go at the ball.
Sure,
I mean, he's going to be a target,
sure.
and I would too. I mean, if I was coaching against him,
Well,
I'd go after that damn ball every time.
And that's a great point. He said you can get away with that at maybe a lower level of football.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get away with it in Division I, and you're not going to get away with it in the Big Ten, and you're certainly not going to get away with it in the NFL. So
No.
he's very skilled, but that is one thing that maybe because he was playing at a lower level, it never got developed.
Well, maybe. Like Carl says, it's blood in the water. Once
That's just
No,
Once
yeah.
the Sharks get that scent, they're going to keep coming after it over and over.
yeah.
Yeah.
what I wondered. I wonder with those guys too, like all their years of going through ball, if they're so much superior to their competition that it doesn't really come into play.
Right.
And then when they get to this level, then it just those bad habits are just hard to shake.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, that the saying that they had is iron sharpens iron. But yeah, if you're not playing against a competitive foe, then are you really getting better? It's like Kramer in Seinfeld when he's competing against like the 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds in Kung Fu or whatever it was, Taekwondo. All right, here's Coach Rule on kind of what we talked about before, because he wanted them to have an aggressive attitude, but then they had all the penalties. So it's like finding that balance.
At some point, the players have to start saying it, and our players get that. That was what was great yesterday. I talked to our team and said, they wanted to play with a swagger, they wanted to play with energy, they wanted to be, Coach, take the leash off us. I'm a little more old school. I said, okay, take the leash off you. Can't have 11 penalties though. Can't have the ball inside the 5 twice. And so I said, hey guys, how do we make this where we can play with a certain energy where we don't have these penalties? And Newsom said, well, we have to do it. And I was like, exactly. That's how you change what's happening. So I think it's the same thing with him technically, but at the same time, he's here from his teammates like, hey, bro, we need you to hold it this way every single time. So, I'm not going to do the old carry it around the class thing. It's not the program.
Why
I'm not
not?
doing that.
No,
We're just
no.
going to trust him as a really
That
good
was-
player that he can get it corrected.
Not gonna
Remember
get
the
it
girls that
corrected.
had the baby doll?
Yes, the one they had to carry around the
Right.
baby, the egg, all day
was
long
kind of a
because they had to
birth control
nurture it
kind of idea.
and care for it.
Exactly.
I think AG needs to have a goddamn football,
football-looking
in
baby.
class
A football
every
baby.
day. A football
Yes.
baby.
You just
Football, baby.
A football baby. Wrap it in a
Breastfeed, keep
blanket,
it warm.
breastfeed it. I don't
Exactly.
care, but take care of the damn baby.
Carl's onto something.
So it was
Carl's the new running backs coach in my book. I'm
Carl's-
telling you right now.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I
Yeah.
love him. So all right, let's wrap
the
up.
lost art of shaming.
Yeah,
The lost art was
truly
shaming,
it
right.
is, because there was a purpose for shaming, and we've
There
lost
was,
that. It gets
yes.
people back into compliance, and
It does.
all this
Exactly.
gets
It
all this
does.
weird shit
Yes.
out. You don't get away with
Suck
that
it
stuff.
up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
Come
now it's like,
on.
no, you have to support them.
Oh, God.
All right, we've got. Let's wrap up our thoughts on Illinois. We'll go around the room. I'll start with Carl. But so we had a 20-7 victory on the road against a team that we haven't defeated in a long time. It wasn't beautiful, Carl. Wasn't beautiful. Had some problems. But kind of what are your thoughts on this? And then as we head into the bye week, what are your thoughts?
A win is a win. Take it, learn from it, correct the things that need to be, but remember you won the game.
All right,
Wow.
BB.
That was profound.
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep.
That was deep.
Yeah,
I
deep.
still don't like Illinois colors. It still looks too Disney for me. I would like to see the penalties, the mistakes inside the red zone, particularly on our offense. So we just have to clean that up. We need to win 3 of the next 6. Let's get a bowl game that I think is our goal at this point, and would be wonderful. And I would just if we can clean that up, I really think we're looking good to do that. But we've got to play better on offense.
Right, Chip. Kind of what are your thoughts on that Illinois game and kind of moving forward?
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of with Carl. A win's a win. I think going into this season, I was already saying it doesn't really matter how. It's just I want to see them look better, and then if the wins come with it, and definitely agree we have to get that cleaned up. But we do have a defense that allows us to make those mistakes, and like I said, we still in Big Ten play come out with a double-digit win. So all in all, happy with the fellas and how they're.
Jeff is wise beyond his years.
Illinois'
He is.
colors, Jeff. Can you comment on that for me, please?
No.
It's orange and blue. It looks like
Hey, man, I'm a
Disneyland.
Bears fan, so we're treading on
for
thin
God's
ice
sake.
there.
for God's
Let's
sake.
honor the late Dick Butkus.
Yeah, let's
All right.
do it. Yeah.
Okay, let's lay off on the orange.
Cheers,
Dick
cheers to
Butkus.
Dick Buckus.
Dick,
No
He
doubt.
didn't look
Dick
like
wore
that.
it well.
Oh yeah.
feel
Well,
Okay.
mostly black and blue. That
Well,
guy was-
everyone else was black and blue after they got hit by him.
I got to say that. So I'm in school back before there was internet and digital stuff, and we would play
And toilet paper.
In toilet.
We had
Yeah.
corn cobs.
Corn-
They
Cars.
would
Cars.
put on these tapes of highlights, for kind of coaches' incentives to, and they were always like the best defensives of whatever, the NFL or college elite. They were never just one player except for Dick Butkus. He had his own series of highlight tapes that my
Nice.
coach would play to inspire us and, watching. It was the only player that had his own video archive of watching the guy play, and man, he was a stud on the field. No doubt
I think
about
he
that.
deserved it, and may
Yeah.
he rest in peace.
Absolutely.
And he can wear orange if he wants to.
Yeah, I'm not telling
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. Well, my thoughts on the game, I think the defense really showed up. They stepped up. They did. They answered the bell when the offense made the mistakes that unfortunately they've made, which have led to losses in the past. The defense kept playing hard. They answered, I think, Coach Rule's challenge and showed up. And so hats off to them. Hats off to special teams, which got some victories. And we haven't mentioned the wind, but it was insane, brutal wind. But they got, they got some victories there. And, I think I agree, Jeff. I think a Big Ten opponent on the road, based on, Nebraska of, years ago, I would say, yeah, I'm disappointed. Why didn't we crush them? But Nebraska of today, I am thrilled because I was actually texting, a family member and just a couple times. I'm like, oh no, here we go. Are we going to find a way to lose this game? Because that's been our pattern over the past several years. And we didn't. Defense stepped up, took care of business, and we still won 20-7. I predicted, a much smaller point spread, more points scored, but a much smaller point spread. And in fact, that didn't happen. The defense held them, and we won by We won by a much larger margin. So I'm thrilled. I can put a bow on this and say, hey, that's one more victory, a nice victory on the road towards the ones we need for a bowl game. And I agree with you, Brian, that from the start of the season, the whole thing has been just to get to a bowl game.
Let's get to a bowl game.
And that's been our mark. So we're 3 wins away.
Excellent. Can I talk about the tickets we're giving away in a couple of weeks?
Talk about the tickets.
I just want to tease it again because I'm impressed. I look at the website and I see a lot of interest in the very nice tickets we have to give away to the Northwestern
They are.
game. And the Facebook, the likes. So if you're listening, keep it up. Those are a couple $100 tickets. I mean,
Right.
they're nice tickets. This isn't.
Oh, wait a minute. When I said I'd split the cost with you, I had no idea there were a couple $100 tickets. What?
Yeah, this isn't out. These aren't way up behind the goalposts or anything. These are midfield and a great view. So yeah, by all means, keep ringing in, keep liking and commenting and following us, and we'll announce a winner.
Yeah, and I
next
would say
weekend,
if you're listening, don't hesitate to go ahead and send the Husker Fans in Montana Facebook page direct message, and just so we know you definitely want the tickets, and that is that's just helpful to know.
So,
and maybe I guess I should say I don't know if we will this time. Maybe in future ones we'll say if you're listening and you actually send a message and say you've been listening. Maybe you'll get a couple bonus entries. We'll put your name in a couple extra times. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I will put your name in at least that's 2 or 3 more times.
3 times.
Let's go 3 times. Let's go 3
listening.
times. You'll get your if you've actually listened through this entire podcast and you get to this
Put up
point.
to this point. Is there a secret code?
There's a secret
Come up
code.
with a secret word.
All you do is DM me.
Jeff in Omaha. That's the secret code.
Secret code is Jeff in Omaha. You DM the Husker Fans of Montana Facebook page and say Jeff in Omaha.
That's OMA.
And I'm putting your name in an additional 2 times for a total of 3 chances to win.
Beautiful.
All right.
Which is also a tribe name.
There we go.
Jeff in
Thank
Omaha?
you,
Jeff in
Jeff.
Omaha.
Thank you. See?
Omaha
my
is a
Lord.
tribe name.
Absolutely.
Omaha, yes.
All right, so we're shifting to let's
Trending.
before we go to the off week and kind of what's going on there.
I predict a tie.
Let's talk about Montana football. What do you got, Carl?
I hate
with
Bobby.
Montana.
I still hate Bobby. But it
Yeah,
was
but-
their game against UC Davis was the best all-round performance I've seen this year. Offense, defense, special teams. Quarterback looked decent considering that McDowell is a runner. He actually looked okay passing. It was the best performance I've seen. That will all be tested this week. They go to Idaho, which is about, I think, number 3.
Little brown jug,
yeah,
right?
a little bit of Stein. Yeah, the Stein.
Yep.
They go to Idaho and have to play there. This will be the test.
What
So-
a turnaround at Idaho, by the way.
Boy, no
Just
doubt.
Really quick.
I'm amazed at that.
In a couple of years, what,
Yeah, because they were sucking.
what
and
they
now they
have
look-
done to turn that into a premier program out in
Well,
Idaho.
doesn't Idaho then go to the Cats, and whoever the Cats are playing this coming week then go to Montana?
I'm not sure. I have to take a look at the schedule.
I
but
think that's what your nemesis was saying in
It
our
was-
beloved watering hole.
it might be Northern Colorado. If that's the case, it's Northern Colorado, I think.
I don't remember, but just said that the opponents swap, and so that gives a real good gauge on the 2 teams. So.
This will be a good test. But I've at least felt better for the team the way they played last week, and I still hate Bobby.
Well, I don't want to mention Bobby by name, so I'm just going to refer to someone as Hook Nose.
Hook nose.
Hook
Okay,
nose.
you can say hook nose.
So
You can see, Jeff, there's a little
There's-
animosity here with Bobby Houck.
we don't like our coach, Jeffrey, if you haven't noticed.
Hook. Can I say Hook Nose? They'll figure it out.
Seems
They
like
probably
it.
figured
Yeah.
out when I. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to come up with a different name. I don't. Happy Sunshine Guy.
There he goes.
Yes.
All right, does that conclude all of your 2 thoughts on
Montana football. Well,
Montana
let's ask
football.
Jeff. You watching the FCS out there? 'Cause
Jeff
you-
is. I'm just going to cover Jeff.
Jeff has
He's
got
not
some-
watching any Montana football.
He's not,
in
but-
Nebraska. You don't even know that Montana has a team. I'm telling
just
you.
north of Omaha, You've got
No, let me just stop
South
you.
Dakota
Let me stop you.
You got North
We
Dakota.
don't
You got
even
some
know what
good
we don't
FCS
even know what
schools
the
out there.
jackrabbits are. We don't even know what that football is.
I
in
bet Jeff
Nebraska.
does.
It's a
I bet-
jackalope.
I bet Jeff knows.
It's a jackalope.
I'm going to cover for Jeff.
Jeff doesn't need covering for it. Look at
He's-
Jeff. He's a big
He's a
guy.
big boy.
We
He can
don't-
talk for himself,
Right.
Rick.
All right,
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. You tell them. You go ahead,
Bison or
go ahead and hurt
jackrabbits?
their
Which one?
feelings. Go ahead. It's okay. That football's not even on our radar.
I didn't even know they still play.
You know,
I told you. I tried to spare you two, but no, you just wanted it. The rest of the world doesn't give a dang
you wouldn't
about
have
Montana
a,
football.
You
I'm
wouldn't
sorry.
have a punter if it wasn't for Montana.
Well, if the coaches would have listened to my original email, he never would have went to Montana.
That's true.
All
too,
right.
so.
All right.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. It's just the way it is.
Well, that was brutal, but
It was
honest.
brutal.
Okay.
Honest, yeah.
All right, we're shifting into the off week, and this is what Coach Rule. He gets a question here, which I think is worth listening to the question and then his response.
The schedule for the coaches as you guys look.
Yeah, we have one guy out the whole week, and then we have a bunch of guys that are going out Thursday and Friday. I'll be out Thursday and Friday, so we'll hit a lot of guys Thursday and Friday evaluation period wise. See some guys play on Friday, and then we came out today and just played football. I thought it was really important that we got ourselves back in the groove of competition. Tomorrow we'll continue to work on some things. We're doing a ton of self-scout, a ton of improvement work, a ton of looking at some areas that we think we need to improve upon. Some third down stuff, some red zone stuff. We'll implement some of that. Thursday will be a lot of Northwestern stuff to get a jump on them. They have a bye week too, so they know who we are. We know who they are. So, to me right now, the goal is for us to go 1-0 this week, just in terms of improving ourselves and getting the young guys some good work.
What I forget about during the season is there's also recruiting going on big time, and this is a big recruiting time for these coaches. I know there's rules that they have to follow and all that, but even Coach Rule is launching out on recruiting. And how busy is this dude? He's trying to put a team together with all these injuries, and yet he's still on the road doing recruiting. It's pretty impressive.
Right.
The man's making like $18,000 an hour, so he's doing okay.
Yeah, that's true. Jeff, do you hear much more around Omaha about like this time of year? We don't hear a lot about recruiting this time of year, which gets filtered out to us. So, but do you hear much of that on the local radio stations or anything?
No, not unless there's some movement on a kid or something. It's pretty much all 24/7, just talking about the current team.
Oh, okay. Well, and then this is Coach Rule and sort of the outlook on the second half of the season.
What do you think you've learned about your team 6 weeks into the year, and what do you think about the potential that they have for the second half of the schedule?
Yeah, I think we should for the second half of the season. I mean, we should try to win every game. Knowing that we'll have a chance. We'll probably have a chance in every game, and also there's not a team that can't beat us. There's not a team we can't beat. There's not a team that can't beat us, and so we probably just should prepare at a high level. I hope the one thing they learned from last week was that what seemed like really hard, like, man, we're in full pads on the Sunday, the day after we played Michigan, probably will end up being one of their better memories from the year, and probably led to one of their best weeks of football. And I think gave them the right to have that swagger that Sam asked about, right? Like, as I told them, if you practice that way, then you earn the right to play that way. So I think they understand that they have to prepare, they have to have edge, they have to play in a certain way, and they have to play as a team. You got Blaze Gunnarsson started a bunch of games. He gets a little bit banged up. Someone goes ahead. Jamari goes ahead of him. Blaze doesn't start. Does he complain? No, he goes out. He plays really good on defense. He blocks a punt. There's a lot of guys on the team I thought stepped up in multiple areas, not just on offense and defense.
So that's kind of an interesting outlook on the next half. And like we said, and I'll pull up the sheet again, but we have some games coming up. Obviously starting with Northwestern, which I think we would all say hopefully is a winnable game.
Sure.
And so then we're left
Do it
to
for
find.
Scott. Yeah. Start off the game with an onside kick.
Do it for Ireland.
Do it for Ireland.
Lord. My God.
Yeah, they need their inner William
Our
Wallace.
running back coach is now moving on to special team.
Yes.
So basically, hopefully, Northwestern will be a win. They really need that. And
I like our chances in all of the first three for sure.
Yeah.
right, I think Maryland gets a little tough. Wisconsin tough.
Iowa tough.
I would like to think we could win one of the last three.
I think we can beat Iowa.
And three of the first three. I mean, we're certainly.
What's it? You hear a lot more there, being close to the border there, Jeff, with that Iowa game. Is there already starting to get some talk about that, or what do you hear?
Yeah, there's always banter here between that. It doesn't matter. Since we're right on that border, people share cubicles and offices with with fans from Iowa and stuff. So that banter's already there. And of course, I think both sides feel the same way. They think they can get us and get us good, and I think we feel the same way. Like if we play our game, we'll put a stomping on them. So I think it's just.
I think their offense is worse than ours, isn't it? Their offense is like.
Oh yeah.
Even below ours, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they've done better the last couple weeks, but they really started off horribly.
Well, I've got a couple cousins that are Iowa fans, so I am definitely rooting for Iowa this week. Matter of fact, if we're not doing anything on Saturday, I think about 2:00. I got to get the exact time of the game.
Get the Iowa game.
Yeah, Iowa and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So we really want Iowa to beat Wisconsin.
Okay.
If there's any chance, and I know this is like shooting this pie in the sky stuff, but if there's any chance for Nebraska to win the Big Ten West, which sort of gets that, into the Big Ten playoff, this is the last year that the West, in the East actually meet up, then it'll just be the top two, which gets much harder for Nebraska to ever get into that playoff game. So this is our chance, but we really need Iowa to beat Wisconsin.
Iowa corn versus Nebraska corn.
Jeff, I'll let you take that one.
Is there a difference?
We're a beef state.
Beef state. Okay. So Nebraska beef.
And Jeff, by the way, one more reason for you to watch.
You guys should be like the beef skinners rather than the Cornhuskers.
One other reason to watch Montana football, Samari Torrey. We gave you a wide receiver.
Also, we're a good recruiting ground.
We are.
It is. It's been good.
It is.
You should pay attention.
We got that kid from. Is it from Bozeman?
Bozeman. It's a kid from Bozeman.
Is it Gallatin High?
Gallatin High School is going to be playing for the Huskers next year.
Outstanding.
Yep. Yeah.
Very excited for him. Yeah. It's just.
Well, we've covered the news. We've covered the post-game review. We talked a little Montana football, and there's not a lot to talk about in this off time.
My prediction for this weekend is that AG will not fumble the ball this weekend.
There we go. Where it's like go Iowa, and then
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Jeff on that one. If it's a Sunday practice.
Yeah, there's just some. I'd love to hear something over this time. This, about Luke Reimer and what's going on with that infection, and Deshaun Singleton. I'd like to potentially hear something about him, and to see if these two can get back in the lineup and rolling after this down week. So fingers crossed there that they're both healthy and able to go again.
Right. Reimer brings so much energy into that linebacker position and just some leadership. And
right.
As good as our defense is, it's better with Reimer in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we do have to celebrate the fact that the defense actually is a nationally rated top 25 defense in several categories. And who would have thought that at the start of the year? I mean, Jeff, did you hear anything around Nebraska thinking that this defense could be that highly rated?
No, with White coming in, like nobody had any idea what this was going to. I don't think anybody thought it was going to be. I think they feared what it might be, as far as it might be a little take a little time to get acclimated to it, and what an amazing surprise it's been.
Well, yeah, and so the 3-3-5 is new to a lot of people, and not only us, but a former Nebraska great, and I won't say his name, who was interviewed on another show, called it the 3-5-5. and of course immediately was made fun of. Yeah, with that extra 2 guys on the field, that's a hell of a defense. But that's how new this 3-3-5 is to Nebraska. But it's certainly proven to be a scheme that White has been able to utilize really well. And I'm thrilled with this defense, and I'm thrilled for the black shirts that they're able to come back. And I think as they grow with these young freshmen that have come in and done so well, I'm excited for the future, And in some of this, it kind of what we were talking about before. Do you redshirt someone? Do you keep playing them? And we've had that. Now it's going to be interesting to see. You've got this crop of wide receivers that would have redshirted, probably all 3 of them, freshmen. Now they're in the game. So what will benefit more, time playing the game or that redshirt year? And I'm sure old school, the standard mindset would have been give them a year to grow, give them a year to develop, bring them along a little slower. But it'll be interesting to see throwing them in the fire.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah, what will that do?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll find out. I don't think anyone knows, and I think each player's different. Each
Right.
kid's going to be different.
Right.
Some of them might thrive. Others, it might be too much, too quick. But
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have any predictions, so I will just go around the horn and say final thoughts and anything that you want before we sign off. And I'll just go around. I'll start with Carl. Any final thoughts?
AG won't fumble this weekend.
That's beautiful. I mean,
That is
that
very
Vegas.
insightful.
I wonder what the odds
argue with
are.
that one.
The odds.
Yeah.
The odds
Well,
are
I
good.
know there's one taker.
No, I
Omaha.
want to like. I better.
Right.
I want somebody on campus seeing if AG is carrying that football around.
Well,
3-pointed, like right here.
Right
we'll go to our secret man on campus. But Carl, let me ask you this for a prediction: will AG work out the bugs and learn enough to control the ball so that he doesn't fumble in the game against Northwestern?
No.
So you predict right here, right now, that Anthony Grant will fumble at least one time in the game against Northwestern.
If he didn't learn already, he's going to have a tough time. It's up here now.
It's conditioning. Yeah.
It's up here. I'm worried that's in his head.
Okay, so you
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope. I would love to be wrong,
all right?
but I have a feeling that Northwestern is going to go after the ball every time. They're not going to tackle AG. They're going to tackle the ball.
Okay.
And if he dares to bring a damn ball up here like this, it's out.
So you think that he will not be able to learn with the focus on it this week to carry that ball any differently than he's been carrying it throughout his entire career?
I don't think so. And it'll be interesting to see how long Rule allows him to play.
Okay, good answer. And well, I think we both said hope you're wrong, but
Yeah,
it makes
I hope
sense.
I'm wrong, too.
It makes sense. BB, what do you got for us?
Well, I just, I think the bye week comes at a good time. We're talking injuries, but in addition to the injuries we know other people are out, everybody's just banged up. There's nobody out there that
Sure.
doesn't need a little time to recuperate. So maybe it's at a good time.
Everybody needs a little time away.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah,
we
they're
go.
for you.
Thank you, Rick.
Grab a
Yeah.
guitar. We could. So I think it comes at a good time. We're getting into the stretch of the season where we should be very competitive throughout the last 6 games. I don't think there's anybody on that roster. I would say the best team on there right now at the moment, probably Maryland. The worst team on.
Even better than Wisconsin, you think? Maryland's better.
I do right now, even with the loss to Ohio State. Wisconsin, I
is
watched
playing
them
well.
play my old alma mater, Washington State, and I wasn't that impressed. WSU beat them pretty good. I'm not saying Wisconsin isn't good, but I think Maryland's probably
Right.
the top opponent we have left. Northwestern's probably the weakest opponent we have left. Doesn't mean anything. We start fumbling the football again or whatever, you can
Sure.
lose to anybody. So, like Rule says, there's nobody in the remaining schedule that we can't beat, and there's nobody that can't beat us. Anyway, I just think the break comes at a good time. I think we have a good chance of winning the next 3 games in which we can all celebrate, because that's going to probably get us, that'll get us into a bowl game since we haven't
Right.
been there for so long. So, and not only the bowl game, but that gets us more practices.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Through
the
December.
program can help
Develop.
build on it. So I just think it comes at a good time, and let's pray and hope that some of these kids get healthy in the meantime, and they got 2 weeks to try to heal up. So
Right.
Yep.
Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it probably comes at a good time for the team. For me, it's probably bad because I think I'm probably more nervous now moving forward. Because at the beginning of the year, I get to that Illinois game, and then you can kind of assess if they're improving or not. And they obviously, to me, look like they are improving in the trenches, especially. I think the guys look tougher and meaner than they've had for years. And so now I think, even though I'm looking at these games that I feel like we should win, I think I'm probably more nervous now. Because I don't want to cough one up that we should win and then, like you say, miss a bowl or something like that. But I feel good. I do hope they get healed up, get things straight. I'll be interested to see if Grant plays. The way Rule made it sound, you can't fumble it on Tuesday and Wednesday and play on Saturday.
Yep.
So if he coughs it up during these 2 weeks of practice, we may not see him.
Don't burp up the baby.
Right.
Thank you.
Well, I guess my thoughts are, because these young players, three freshmen at wide receiver and everything, are just being forced into the game. And it's right now really this, with Washington going down, it's apparent we have to turn to them. So they get a little bit of time, not a lot, not like they have fall camp, but they get a little bit of time to try to get something organized. Sure. So that's what I am looking for in this off time. Can they get this figured out and figured out what combination of personnel on offense gives them the best opportunity to get in there and compete and get a little more offensive production. And so if they can get that figured out, I agree with you, BB. I think that we will get the wins that we need to go to a bowl game. And speaking of a bowl game, and I want to get a commitment from each of you, and I'll start with Jeff. If it's Vegas, if we get to go to a bowl game in Vegas, Jeff, are you going?
Go Big Red, baby.
Are you going to go to the bowl game? Are you going to meet us at the bowl game?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
If it's Vegas, come on. It's cheap flights all around, right?
Hey, it's easy, right?
All right. Let's hear it. BB, you going?
Oh, yeah.
Only if it's the humanitarian potato bowl.
That's in Boise.
Come on.
I know.
You
I'll
won't go to
Boise.
Vegas?
You'll just go to
maybe I'll
Boise.
go to Vegas, but
We'll twist his arm.
The blue feet.
Boise, Vegas, what's the difference?
If somehow Nebraska goes to a bowl game in Vegas, Husker Fans in Montana podcast, we're going.
Can we
Okay.
broadcast from there?
Well,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All right.
We'll do
I just
it.
want to go to the Sphere and just watch the Sphere.
We'll need shirts.
We'll need shirts.
Maybe we'll need shirts. I love it. Maybe
Can
we'll
we get the
the
wrestling Herbie?
maybe we'll get the Sphere to broadcast the
There you
game
go.
in the Sphere,
On
and
the
we'll go
Sphere.
watch it there.
No,
Maybe we
Hey,
can get the pedophile up
Hey,
on the
since
Sphere.
Carl's the hot one,
Carl's the hot
since
one.
Carl's the hot one, we could make those clacker cards.
Oh yeah, that's what we want to do.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we want to do.
All right, there
I
went all
think
the
that's it.
credibility
There goes-
out of Omaha.
So there's clacker cards we'll pass out on the
Pass it
strip.
out
Yes.
to the ladies on the
The
strip.
ladies on the
So
Strip.
you got to have
Yeah,
that
there you go.
technique
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
And yeah,
It's raining, baby. It's raining.
Or anybody. It doesn't
we might have better luck with the non-straight men. All right, well,
It's a family show. We want to thank everyone and the kids for tuning in.
yeah, thanks, kids.
Did we mention Lewis and Clark Brewery tonight?
We did not.
Our sponsor. We should probably at least
did.
mention. We certainly appreciate the sponsorship of Lewis and Clark. And when you're in Helena, stop in the brewery, see some entertainment.
Yes, we do.
Have some
Great
great beers.
entertainment. Love their beer. And again, Jeff, you got to get up here so we can load you up.
I do. I definitely do.
All right, then for Carl, BB, and Jeff, I'm Ricky J. Cheers.
Cheers, guys.